Well, guys, we did it. We survived summer. Yes, it is 76 degrees in my garden right now. I am loving every bit of it, and it is our first taste of fall. But you know what that means? That means this needs a cleaning because after a very, very successful monsoon season, tons of haboobs, tons of rain, this whole garden back here is dirty. So let's clean it and let's get ready to start planting for the fall. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Shamira Benson, one part of Team Benson, and today we are going to start cleaning this garden. So for those of you guys that found me and my channel during the summer, my garden does not look like this. I love a very clean, well-swept, well-organized garden. It only looks like this because I live in Arizona, the place where it gets to be 118 degrees, sometimes 120. We have haboobs that have a giant wall of sand that goes from ground to the top of the sky and rolls across the entire city. And then we have monsoon rains that flood the city after that. So my garden looks a hot mess, and it has looked a hot mess. So the first thing that I do when we reach these temperatures, which is usually October 1st, which is my planting day, is there's the start of our planting season, is I go through and I clean my garden. I wash up everything, I clean everything, and I get to a nice clean start. Because since it's 76 degrees, scorpions do not want to come out. Now, before anybody asks, yes, I live in a desert. Yes, we have scorpions. Yes, there's scorpions in my garden. No, I do not see them. And no, I don't wish that they weren't here, because as long as the scorpions are eating the bugs in here, then the bugs are not getting into my house. And then the scorpions also have no reason to go into my house because there's food out here. And scorpions are kind of territorial. So if you get a really big one, which the one in my garden is about this big, his name is Sam. We leave Sam alone. Usually he hides by my compost bin, my worm bin at the end of this long bed. And he's huge, like he is huge. But he's very territorial, which means that the little scorpions don't really come back here because Sam will beat them up. So we let Sam do his job. But now it is my time. It is my time to shine. And so what I do when I'm preparing for October 1st, or the first week of October, because now it's Sunday, is I let the garden dry out. Usually we get a big rain sometime before the first week of October, and the garden is soaked. Like the garden was soaked. I had water all the way up to like the second bar of this bed. The wood is finally dry. I'm feeling it. The wood's finally dry, but it was soaking wet. And during that time, you increase your chances for mosquitoes and get eaten alive by mosquitoes. I'm one of those people that mosquitoes love, so I try to stay away from them. And yeah, that means I wasn't in my garden for probably like a solid good 3 days. I didn't water it, I just let it drain. And you want to let all of that water just drain. It also makes your garden perfect for planting season because it hydrates your soil and gets your soil ready to go. So first things first, we're going to start with putting on some of these. So I got these sent to me years ago by Farmers Defense, and they are these gloves that I love because that Armenian cucumber has 18 Armenian cucumbers on it. You guys, I don't even know why it has that many, because we have already harvested 30 Armenian cucumbers. So now is the time that I let my neighbors just take whatever they want. Now I'm gonna count them all out for you guys because I know you guys may not believe me, and if you've seen my shorts, you know already that we have 18. I have a couple that are ready that I'm gonna start pulling off and getting those in the house because I have a couple of my neighbors that won't be home in time for like on the outside of the fence. If they get ready, they don't want to lose their Armenian cucumbers, so I'm going to pick them and let them have them. But yeah, all 18 of these, we need to find a home. I also have coffee because it's like 7 a.m. I need coffee. The other thing I have is going to be an apron because I have to work later on. And now's the time that I really get into my garden and I don't want to get dirty. All right, let's go get these Armenian cucumbers. All right, guys, so we're on the other side of my fence, outside of my garden. And despite my best effort, my Armenian cucumber has decided to do this, just really kind of grow. As you can see, it has little bees all over it. And that means it has made a ton more Armenian cucumbers. How great is that? So first we're gonna try and push, that one fell out. See, there you go, Armenian cucumber. We're gonna count them real quick, and then I'm gonna try and put this vine back so that it doesn't reach the ground, which is what it'll do and roll out here. So we have one there. We have 2, 3, found another one, 4, 5, 6, and then if we go on over here, we have 7 alone out here. Look at, even the Malabar spinach is trying to make a break for it out of the garden. And so yeah, now we're gonna go inside. Okay, so we had 7 outside the fence. There was 1 extra that, I swear these things, like, they get pollinated and then they get like, they go from like, maybe that's a flower, like the flower bud's still on it, to like that, and you're like, oh, that's gonna be an Armenian cucumber, like overnight. This thing is so covered in beads. Okay, so 7 on the outside. Let's look on the inside. We have 8, 9, 10 right there, 11, 12. That's opposite of the one that's over there. We have 13, big one, that's a huge one. 14 right there. 15 right there. Let's keep going. Stepping over water hoses. We have 16 right there. 17. 18, that one is also huge. And right there in the corner, like right there, is number 19. This is insane. Just looked up and saw another one right in there, guys. I don't know if you could see it right there. We have, right there, we have number 20. 20. All right, guys, so I grabbed a ladder just to think that, you know, I could get that one that was like dead center a little bit easier if I went over top, and I found 2 more. So now we're at 24, I believe. This is insane. I don't know what I'm gonna do with all these Armenian cucumbers. So guys, okay, first off, this, let's just see how gorgeous this is. This is the top of my arches, and I say arches because now it has covered 2 arches. It just looks like a blanket of green right here. This is my garden from the outside, and I thought that it would be easy to get the Armenian cucumber that was down there in the dead center. I don't think it's gonna be that, but up here I found 2 more. There is a giant one right there, so that's 22, and then one over there, which is 24. Actually, I think that one's 23, this one's 24. And look at all of the okra I missed too, just because I couldn't get up in here. Okay, let's try and get it. This is crazy. This is crazy work. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take some of these over to the fruit barn that's next door to us and just tell her, hey, sell these and see if your customers like them, because then maybe she can grow them in her garden next year. But yeah, this is insane. Like, insane. It's like the plant's putting off its last hurrah to try and make seeds, and this is the bumper crop of all bumper crops that I've ever had of Armenian cucumbers, which I will be showing you guys a new way of preserving them that my goddaughter did that was absolutely delicious. So I'll be showing you guys that way in a later video, which will have plenty of Armenian cucumbers to work with. Look at how big these things are, guys. None of these did I know were on the plant. I only knew about those ones because those are the ones I could see. This is insane. So guys, as a Jewish gardener, I follow a mitzvah of gleaning, which means these are not mine. So I have to treat them with care, and most of those are not mine either. I'm probably gonna maybe take like 2 more of them off the plant that I'm going to have for my household and my family. But gleaning means that it's a commandment for you to allow 10% of your harvest to go to anybody that's hungry or anybody that's needed. And anything that grows on the outside of my fences or anything that grows on the outside of, like, since our backyards connect, so it connects to my neighbor's backyard, anything that grows on the outside or on their side is automatically not mine. My neighbors know that they can harvest whatever's on their side, and my neighbors know that if they walk by my garden and they see something and they want it, it's theirs. They don't even have to ask. Now on the inside, I also get a ton of things. So I usually donate to families and shelters and our synagogues. And then also this year, I think I'm gonna take these over to we have a neighborhood farmer's market. I think I'm gonna take these over to her and give these to her and see what her clientele thinks about the amazing Armenian cucumber. So I feel like over the years of me practicing this commandment, which every year I pick a new commandment, I have things in my scarf. Every year I pick a new commandment to follow, and I picked this one years ago. Like, my garden really started to produce, and I felt like it was quality food, and I got down the organicness of how to grow a garden without pesticides or anything like that, so everything was 100% organic. Then I felt comfortable in giving the food away to other people. And I feel like every year God just blesses me with something that grows insane. Like, my black cherry tomatoes were insane. My collard greens were insane. These Armenian cucumbers, insane. This is one plant, guys. One plant providing this much food. All right, guys, those 4 Armenian cucumbers took a lot out of me. Now, I did take them over to the little market that's next to me. I did not sell them to her. That's not a part of gleaning. I gave them to her because she's always trying to find something new and cool to put inside of her store. And I have extra, I have an abundance. So I gave them to her, but it's so super cool to kind of see my vegetables like in like a little market. Like, it looked really, really cool. So I have a couple neighbors that are waiting for the other ones to come on, or to get big on that side of the fence. And now that I know that I have so many more, I'm going to probably just put up a post in my neighborhood area and just say, hey guys, we also have some that I have from the inside of the fence. So Armenian cucumbers are going out. All right, enough of that. Let's start cleaning, and more importantly, let's plant some stuff. Okay guys, so the first area we are going to start with is this little area right here. Now, I always start planting my garden out from this side all the way to that side, because usually that side is still growing. Now during the spring, I start from this side and go all the way to this side because this side is still growing. So what I want to start with is, one, I'm going to move all of this stuff just so I can get this area right here swept out. These things like this, like these like little gate thingy situation, I'm trying to find all of them because I want to line my pumpkin bed with them, so my pumpkin patch kind of stays at least a little bit contained, or it gives the vines something to grow over before they grow out. So that's the plan for that. Let's put all of these over there, and then let's pull this stuff out, get it swept, and then we are going to plant some onions. Now in this bed, I have a bag of compost from the worm farm, and then I also have a bag of just regular bag soil, my regular Kellogg's organic. I'm going to sprinkle in this garden tone. As you guys know, I use the organic garden tone at least once is a major season, so fall and spring, and I sprinkle it in, mix it into my garden bed, and then that's usually all the fertilizer I really give my garden. I'll do fish fertilizer, but I don't really like the smell, so I don't do it too often. And then we're gonna plant out hopefully 25 onions right here in the top of this bed. Now guys, I was thinking about adding another potato cage or tomato cage in here. There's already one in here holding up this one, but since this one now wants to grow this way a little bit, I think I'm just going to let it do that. Although part of me thinks I should provide something else in here to give it more height and just give it another layer for things to grow in. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. We have to potentially grow another one of those, but over here, this probably won't get as big as the Armenian cucumber. The Armenian cucumber gets pretty huge, but usually my pumpkins and my squash I do on that side, and they get to about like right here. At least my butternuts do. So I'm trying to plan for it, but this is what I did. I kind of created like a little cage around it so that then at least has something to go over to give a little bit more length to. This one, it was growing this way, but it looks like it's turning, so maybe we'll have to hen it to make it grow that way. And I'm also going to leave this arch open so that then this one right here that's starting to reach out this way can grow up that arch, and that'll be fine. I was going to put like some beans on it, but I'm thinking against that. You guys let me know in the comments what you guys think I should do and give me some tips. So we have more of this cleared out. We're going to keep going. Okay guys, so normally we sweep up all of this sand and we don't throw that away. We put it right back in the garden. But since we are starting a garden from scratch on our homestead, we're going to be putting this in our compost bin, and we're going to be taking it up to the homestead in order to fill our beds there. So why do we save the sand? All right guys, we're going to use this coffee break as an educational moment for you guys. It'll be fun, I promise. So, why do we save the sand? Did you guys know why the Amazon forest, like the rainforest, is so lush and green? It actually is because of all the phosphorus that gets blown over the ocean from the Sahara Desert. And that phosphorus is in the sand. Now, us being mountain desert people, we get the same phosphorus from our sand. And if we save our sand after those huge haboobs that blow sand all over our desert, it provides so much nutrients to our garden. Now, some of the sand I will be putting in our bin to be able to take up north to our homestead, and then some of the sand is just going right back in my garden. This is how I found that I don't need to provide a lot of just extra fertilizer for my garden. Because one, we get the nitrogen from all of those monsoon rains and storms. We get the phosphorus from all of those haboobs that are just covering our sweet little state in sand. And then we get the, what is the last one? Potassium for the things that fall into our garden and for things that we put back into it. So us putting that compost back into it, that we put the Armenian cucumbers for the worms to compost. We put bananas and all the fruits that come up during the summertime. Compost those down, put that right back into the garden. So this is how you avoid having to have so much extra fertilizer. Just use the resources that God provides you. Okay, but since my garden has had a great balance all these years, I am going to take some of the sand and sprinkle it into where I'm getting ready to put my onion sets. So I have that going in there. Let me lower the camera a little bit so you can see a little bit better. There we are. And then I'm going to take a little bit of this garden thyme or garden tone, and I'm going to sprinkle this in the garden. Now, I will link this for you guys. This is one of the only things that I really use in my garden for extra fertilizer. So, and all you do is you just sprinkle it once a season. I do it, like I said, I do it twice a year, so I only do it during my big seasons. Sprinkle it on in there, and then just give your soil a mix. Make sure you don't breathe it in because it tastes gross. And I'm trying to mix it all the way down to where I know the compost is too. Like I said, I have a layer of compost right underneath this layer of bag soil. And then we just topped it with our extra sand. And now we're mixing in our garden tone. And you can tell the difference when you hit the compost because it's darker. It's like richer and darker. Very, very nice. Give that a nice mix. And then we're gonna give this a little bit of water before putting in our onion sets. Luckily, we have rainwater. Now we are supposed to get another rain, but I always save my rainwater for planting and hydrating of some of the garden areas that didn't get as much water. So I'm gonna put this actually in here because this one has the little spray spout thing. This is my last bucket of rainwater, so we've been trying to make sure we're using it sparingly, just in case our next rain isn't as amazing as we are hoping for. But hopefully we will have everything kind of planted out during that time. So, okay, as I spill it, all right, so that should be enough. Let's go water the area. Now my goal isn't to like saturate this area. It really is just to kind of settle that sand and the garden tone in there so that then it's not like coming up at me. And it's also just giving a little bit of moisture for when I put in the garden sets or the onion sets. So let's get these out next. I don't know why they always make it so difficult to get into, guys. And all we're going to do is we're just going to take these little sets like this and we're just going to push them into the soil and leave the top up, like leave like the very edge of it up. So this is what I mean. Basically I just took like the little onion, kind of pushed it down in there, and then I'm leaving the very tip of it out of the soil so that then it can grow. Okay, so now that all of the onion sets are in there, we are now going to plant out the bottom with our starts. So let's space these out and get them going. Now guys, this is going to be a process for me. Me getting my garden the way that I want it. This is going to be like a month-long process. So I encourage you not to stress out, not to overthink it, not to overplan it or anything like that. Just let your garden be calm and enjoy this time with your garden. Like enjoy this space, enjoy deciding where things are going to go, and just enjoy planting it. Like don't overthink it, guys, because we made it through the hottest part of the time. We survived, and now it's time to enjoy. So let me get these planted in there. Lower that down so you guys can see a little bit better. This is Hedgie. My sister bought me Hedgie a long time ago, and we love him. We love Hedgie. We name things in this garden because why not? I'm probably going to rough up the soil a little bit too, and then also sprinkle some garden tone down here, just since I did it up there. But down here is compost. I think actually just compost because I did bag soil before that. Now guys, before I put some water on this, I wanted to show you guys this. This white stuff is a fungus, and this is a good fungus. This provides a lot of nutrients to your plants and it feeds the roots. So you want to see this in your garden. And a lot of times after monsoon season, this will be pretty thick in our garden. Like it'll have like basically like a huge fungus webbing underneath it. So breaking up your soil a little bit, one, allows to kind of spread that nutrients around, because like I said, it's going to provide a lot of nutrients for your plant roots, but then also it helps the roots be able to get down into the ground so that then they're lower for water, because I'm going to water way less during the fall. Okay guys, so this oregano looks like it might be dead. So I am going to probably see if I can bring it back to life before putting it in this bed. And if I can't, then I'll just get different oregano. One of the nice parts about getting them from Home Depot is that if you kill it, then you can take it back and they will exchange it for you. All right guys, and this break brought to you again by coffee. So teaching lesson number, I don't know what number we're on, but don't dig in your garden right after a haboob. For those of you guys that don't know, just need this up. We have a thing called valley fever here in Arizona. Nasty, nasty little virus that can get into your lungs, and it's found in the dirt. So when we have like construction and stuff like that, and they're digging up big chunks of dirt, which we have close to our home, you do not want to dig in your garden right after that. Let your garden settle. So there's a reason why we wait until there's rain, and that rain kind of packs everything down in there, and then it settles down in there, because then that pushes that little virus just further into the soil. It's there, it's valley fever. What can you do about it? Now that we have everything planted, now we need to get mulch. Luckily, we have this super dried out sugar cane that we are going to use for mulch. We're not going to go buy it. We're not going to go do that. Why do that when you have it right there in your garden? So all we're going to do is we're going to grab our sugar cane and kind of go in little sections and just cut it. And we're going to let that kind of just spray all over. And that is what we're going to do for mulch. I'm going to do this all over here, and I'll come back and show you guys the end. Now, doesn't this just look way better? We got a clean floor. We have things all swept up. Things are planted out. I put some solar lights right here because a lot of times I'm coming out to this part of my garden to get some stuff for dinner, so it's nighttime. I have my hangers right there. I'm gonna hang some solar lights off of there, and then we have our cage put back up. Now I probably will need to provide shade cloth for this side of the garden at least one more day, because there's supposed to be one 102 day, but we will see how that goes. All right, so now let's talk about this wood. Okay guys, so before we go on and talk about what we're going to be doing for our wooden beds, I would like to say big thank you to Vego Garden Beds, because as you guys know, Vego Garden, they sponsored my garden and my homestead with garden beds. Now, we have been using them for the past, I would say almost 2.5 to 3 years at this point. We've been using the different types of Vego garden beds here, and we have the cascading one, which is the one we just planted out for our herbs. We have the dragon fruit ones, and then we also have the kids one and a little round one. And I find life way easier growing in these garden beds. They don't burn your roots. They last throughout the summer when we're like 100+ degrees without burning the roots, and they're just easy to maintain. I wish that I had put them in my garden a lot sooner, because they would have been a lot easier to take care of. So if you guys want to check out Vego and look at some of the beds that they have, I will link them down below. You guys can get a discount with my promo code, so make sure you guys go check them out as you're building your fall garden, and use the promo code so that then you can get a discount. So we are affiliate of them, and we just want to say a big thank you to Vego Garden Beds. So now let's talk about what's going on with my wood beds, because every year I do have to treat those. Okay, so to take care of these wood beds, a lot of people do like the flamethrower situation where they like burn the ends of them. If I had known about that, I probably would have done that a lot sooner, but I didn't. Now this was the easiest garden bed ever to build, because you can get all of these from Home Depot. It's just these like little bricks and then these wood pieces, but these wood pieces don't last forever. And after big monsoons, as you can see, it slowly starts to kind of rot, and you want to make sure that you're not getting like any of the like termites or anything like that. So what we do is we treat them with mineral oil. Okay guys, so legit, I just dug around my house looking for my mineral oil and I cannot find it. I was seeing it was even on my garden shed area, but yeah, cannot find it. So I think that I used it all last monsoon season. So I will put up a picture right here of the mineral oil that I get, which I will have to order. I get it from Amazon. But all I do is I just rub mineral oil on the beds. So everywhere on the wood pieces, I rub mineral oil. It's harder on the ones that are connected to, are really close to something else, like one of the other beds. But the front of them, I make sure that I get those with mineral oil. And I saturate it with mineral oil and then I let it dry and just let the last bit of the hot Arizona sun bake it in there. Now we have another 102-degree day, which is going to be in like 3 days, I want to say. So I need to hurry up and get this mineral oil. And I suggest that if you also have a desert garden, that you do that to your wood pieces because it'll help preserve the wood a lot longer. Eventually, I will have to replace this, which will be a pain in the butt because this is a bed. Like, it has roots, it has dirt, it has all of those different things. So the metal beds are a lot easier to work with and deal with, like when it comes to maintenance. But if you do have the wooden beds, that is a really great way to take care of them and make sure that they're staying good. I use a food grade mineral oil. You could use like the ones that are sealant in there, like the wood sealant, but that's a lot of chemicals that I don't want in my garden. So I choose to use food grade mineral oil. So I hope this video was helpful for you guys. I know it was kind of long. We have done a couple of things. We still have this whole entire garden to go because we need to get this ready and inviting before Sukkot. Sukkot is when we bring people back here and we enjoy the time with them. And hopefully this year we'll get a bazooka. So until next time, grow yourselves a garden because even a small space can provide you with tons of food. Bye guys.